2024-03. I'd like to put in the restriction of the 75-foot setback from the surrounding properties.
Second.
Buffer, yes.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Gillis and a second by Commissioner Fletcher to approve ordinance 2024-03 with the inclusion of a 75-foot buffer around the entire property, or
The bottom, where it connects to other property owners.
okay, around the surrounding properties. Any discussion? Hearing none. Call to the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Right. The next on our list is Resolution 2024-01, Fellowship Drive.
This is a request to be able to place a manufactured home on property that had a restriction for stick-built homes only that was put in 20 years ago and approved by a board that no longer exists.
Any questions? Okay, entertain a motion regarding Resolution 2024-01.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve Resolution 2024-01, Fellowship Drive. Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Fletcher and a second by Commissioner Lovett to approve Resolution 2024-01. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, just for the record, the applicants have agreed that the house will be put on a concrete foundation. For the record.
Any discussion? Other discussion? Hearing none, we call it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, Ms. Diddy, can you stay up here for one more second? The next item we have is Resolution 2024-02, the Lamar County Comprehensive Plan. I know you worked really, really hard on this, and I know Commissioner Gillis also worked on this. I don't know all the names. I don't know if you do. Hopefully you do. Maybe you can give them some recognition, but thank you for what all you guys did for it.
I appreciate it. It was definitely a group effort. We met multiple times all through 2023 and into early 2024. And we, most of the meetings ran with our planning commission meetings so that we had a bigger audience. People were there for other things, but we made them stay for this. So we had a lot of good feedback through the process. The regional commission, hands down, were just amazing getting this together. So the public hearings were done. This was sent to the Georgia Department of Community Affairs. They reviewed the draft. Then they come back and say, yes, everything looks great. And the last and final step is for this board to approve our 2024 update to our comprehensive plan.
Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone that actually helped with this. Okay, I'll entertain a motion in regards to Resolution 2024-02, the update to the Lamar County Comprehensive Plan.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if you don't mind, I would like to yield to Commissioner Gillis and allow her to do this. I think that it's a recognition for the hard work that everybody on that team put in.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the 2024 Resolution 2024-02, the Lamar County Comprehensive Plan.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Gillis and a second by Commissioner Fletcher to approve Resolution 2024-02, the update to the Lamar County Comprehensive Plan. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Tonight, we have a request from Mr. Faulkner to discuss hauling rock from Vulcan to Turner Bridge Road. Mr. Faulkner, come on up.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we table this until our next meeting.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Gillis and a second by Commissioner Thrash to table this to our next meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The next item on our agenda for tonight is the animal shelter naming rights and research. Yes, sir. Come on up, Mr. Tom.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. You gave me about 15 minutes at the workshop last week, and I guess what you heard was favorable enough. You invited me to speak tonight, albeit at a briefer amount. Anyway, the animal shelter has always been a private-public endeavor. Private money going with public money to get it built, and we have the money either in pocket or pledged to get that done. But those of us who are supporters are trying to figure out how can we support the shelter going forward? How can we put private money into the deal so that the taxpayers are not shouldering the burden? So when I started my research, I did it in the context of being a shelter supporter. It did not take me long to figure out that I really needed to be wearing my taxpayer's hat. Because like you, I'm a taxpayer, and I don't want to see the taxpayer burdened any more than necessary. The standard items that shelters do to support their income is things like adoption fees, private donations. And we will do all of that. Chairman Glass factored that into the budget 9 years ago. But nobody thought about naming rights. This is a subject that is done commonly in other jurisdictions, including for animal shelters. When you've got a brand new shelter, it's going to be in a good location. I think it's an opportune time to give the public, meaning private companies, private individuals, the opportunity to put their name on a plaque, stick it on the wall of the shelter, and pay the county for the privilege of doing that. And when I ran the numbers, these are big numbers, guys. This is not nickels and dimes stuff. This could easily outweigh anything we would get from adoption fees, for example. So I encourage the commissioners to, let's look into this further. And I got a favorable response. For those of you who may not know what naming rights are, well, like I said, it's when a company or an individual pays you money to put their name on a plaque on the wall. County owns the building, the county's responsible for operating it, but they can get revenue from selling those rights. And the term is whatever the county and the buyer want it to be. My recommendation would be to keep it fairly short early in the time. There are at least 30 specific spaces in that shelter that could be individually named. So I think there's enormous potential here. And I repeat, I'm standing here as a taxpayer. I'd like to pursue it further. And Commissioner Lovett, if you would forgive me for saying what you told me later, I can't think of a better person than a business person who's also a tax hawk. And there's one sitting right there. So I would be delighted to work further with him and anybody else the commissioners would like to designate to develop a program. What happens tonight is this basically goes public. Our editor is sitting right there. Perhaps it'll show up sometime in the paper in the next week or two. And then we get the word out. We don't have a plan yet, but now is the time to test the appetite of this county. The preliminary research I did, not surreptitiously, but very conservatively, everybody I spoke with thought, man, this is a great idea. Why didn't we think of this earlier? Whether it's a good idea remains to be seen, but I think it is, and I hope the commission will say, let's investigate it further, develop a plan. We've got 6 months or so before that shelter gets built. This is the perfect time to be lining up people to really supplant taxpayer money. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Tom? Okay. I entertain a motion in regards to the animal shelters naming rights.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that the board endorse the further research by Mr. Tom Wilner into animal shelter naming rights.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Lovett and a second by Commissioner Fletcher to endorse Mr. Tom Wellner's research on the naming rights for the animal shelter. Any discussion? Hearing none, we call it to the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Tonight, we get an update from Jeannie in regards to our tax assessors meeting that you guys just recently had. Jeannie Haddock, thank you very much for being here. You could turn that a little bit this way. No, this way. It's supposed to be facing. It's supposed.
Never mind. Tom's not going to invite you back to a meeting. Anyway, I just want to give out an update of what happened Thursday in the Board of Assessors meeting. Right now, the value of a house is at $90 a square foot. As everybody knows, since 2019, your values have been going up and up and up due to what things are selling for in the county. I presented the Board of Assessors with information at $90 a square foot, $100 a square foot, and $105 a square foot. They decided not to do a reassessment this year on houses. We are doing commercial and industrial. It was 2018, the last time those schedules were updated. They just felt like that we need a break, that the taxpayers need a break. We'll keep going up, and that's what they feel like is doing. But since then, we have gotten a call from the school board who wants to meet with my board, me, and I think we're going to meet with with Brian and Ashley about the impact that it's going to have on the school. But I just want to give y'all a heads up that they did vote that. We are probably going to lose some money on utilities. And I think me and Sean talked, and y'all would have to roll the mill rate back because, the way that it works now, the digest did go up about $22 million. That's the 40%. So it's a little bit more than that with the commercial. Y'all would have to roll the mill rate back to probably, 9.3? The school would have to roll it back to like a 13.6. If I went up to 105, they would have to roll it back to like a 12, which they're not going to. They can't. So either way you look at it, it's either they're going to keep the mill rate the same in the values. We just feel like it's enough right now. And it's not a review year for me. The Department of Revenue is actually reviewing me Thursday. He's coming down. The Department of Audits is coming down to do our digest review. And what that means is they come in and review our policies, our procedures, everything that we do. They cite me. I have 3 years to correct it. As we know, there's a neighboring county that is going through what they call a peer review, which is called in by the revenue commissioner, and that can end up costing the county a lot of money. But being that this is not a review year, we figure this is a year that maybe we could just slide by a little bit and try to give the taxpayers a break until maybe something can happen again in legislation or something. Because, we don't want it to get as bad as that neighboring county, because if a peer review comes in, they can come in and tell the Board of Commissioners, hey, she needs 2 employees and you have to give me those employees. Hey, she needs a new car. She needs a new flight, which y'all were very good with my budget. I really do appreciate y'all pretty much give me what I asked for, what I need to run my office. But we just felt like it was just a time to give them a break. And I wanted to let everybody know too, this year, everybody got if you had homestead exemption, you got like a $400 credit from the governor. That will not be on your tax bill in 2024. So when you get your assessment notice, the estimated taxes on the bottom is going to be about $400 to $500 more than what you actually paid. And that's due to the governor giving us that $400 because he had additional money in the state. Don't know if he'll do that this year. Hadn't heard anything about it, but I just want to give y'all a heads up. When you see that estimated taxes, it is going to be more because of that reason. And if you have a mortgage, please make sure that you check with your mortgage company that they do not down your escrow because your taxes might have went down, because the mill rate did go down this year. The school and the county went down. Mill rate is probably the lowest it's been since I've been back in 2010. And so with that, and then with what the governor gave you, you probably did pay less than you did in 22. And so your mortgage company go, hey, let's do our escrow. Don't do that, because I've had a lot of people come into the office complaining because the mortgage company doing no escrow, and at the end of the year they end up owing money. So just if you have any questions about your mortgage company or needing help, call the office and we'll be more than glad to walk you through what you might need to tell your mortgage companies. I just didn't want anybody coming up at the end of the year having to pay because the mortgage companies did that. So, but thank y'all for y'all support.
So can you also tell when the next time you're going to have a review? I know, but I think it'll be great for everybody to know.
The digest review or
a digest review?
It's every 3 years. So they review my 2023 digest. It's always a year behind. So 23, 24 will be 2026. So hopefully the market will slow down. The values are still holding. The sales have slowed down a lot, and there are things are staying on the market a lot longer. But the issue that we're having and we're seeing is older homes are selling for high prices, and it's because there's not much new inventory. All the subdivisions have been built out. I think there's the subdivision off of Johnsonville Road. That's Oak Haven. I think it's one of the last ones that's starting to. I think he was the same guy that did Fieldcrest and Milner. But other than that, you're seeing a lot of older homes, especially in the city of Barnesville, being bought and then remodeled. And like the one down the street from me, they bought it, paid it for $150,000. They went in and put probably $50,000 or $60,000 in it, and it's for $250,000 now. So there's a lot of houses like that on like Carlita Street that they go in and pay a low price for it, and turn around and paint it, put new cabinets in it, and selling it. So a lot of the newer homes, and we just felt like that you can't keep punishing the taxpayers for people moving in and paying, and it's not their fault. It's what the market is doing it. But there's got to be an end to it somehow. And I don't know. I was hoping the legislation was going to help us with the 3%, but they didn't. Maybe they will next year. But thank y'all.
Any questions for Anita? Thank you, Jeannie.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. I know I called her Anita. Hold it. That's a new job for you, there, Sean. Add that to your job description. All right, thank you, Ms. Haddock, for that update. We look forward to the meeting that we will have with your board and the school system. I know you were trying to make that happen as quick as possible, so let us know what we can do. All right, Townsend, would you like to go ahead and move forward with the administrator's report?
Yes, sir. Just to let you know, our staff here in the administration office has been pretty busy with upgrade. The previous board agreed to upgrade from Encode 9 to 10. So the last 2 weeks they've been going through training with this upgrade. So been challenging this week to try to finish these reports out. So just to let you know, from AmeriPro, we had 206 transports, 107 refusals, 20 cancellations, and the response time was 7.55. And I kind of added this graph to just try to see, y'all can see what time some of the calls are. This is the day they actually have the most calls. This month, Friday was the busiest month. Usually it's on Thursday for some reason, but this month for March was actually for Friday. The expenditures for all our departments should be at 25% right now, and our departments are actually running at 20.71, which they're running under budget right now. I'm just to let you know that April we did pay our retirement of $442,000, so that's going to hit next month. Right now, our cash flow is running a little bit higher than what it should be right now, so. I think that's because of our expenditures running lower than what we should be at right now. Just a little update. I'm meeting with MJR Solutions. I'm planning on meeting with them tomorrow morning. Got them to come. Got another consultant to come out and look at the roof and give me their input on it, and they're going to come in with their findings tomorrow. They said there was some issues that we need to resolve, so hopefully we'll be able to look at that. So last month I reported that our sales tax collections were running a little bit lower than average. March, a little bit different. It was our highest collections that I've ever seen in any of our collections. We collected $157,404.71 in our loss. And our our SPOS collections was $276,179.18. And our T-SPOS collections was $254,114.53. So, like I said, I know I mentioned last month that collections were a little bit low for our sales tax, and wasn't really sure why. And it might have been maybe some of the collections wasn't turned in at the proper time. So hopefully this is just leveling out. Just wanted to, I know last month we had some comments at the end of the March 19th meeting, and I just wanted to kind of address give some updates. I know Ms. Elaine, made comments about us trying to eliminate public comments. The real reason we was having a conversation about protocols is that we were trying to put guidelines, put some structure in, so we're not comparing to other counties. We're actually having our own policy and procedures for Lamar County. And like I said, the research was done from just a simple email to our listservs to the county clerks. I know the county managers has it, the finance department has it, HR has it. And what it is if we have any questions or need help with something, we just gotta send out a quick email, and we send it out to 159 counties. And most of the time we get a lot of responses back. So with that, we was able to, I think what started me and Carlette's conversation was from the county manager in Cannon County. He kind of sent out something talking about policies, procedures, protocols for board meetings. So we kind of wanted to see some other research. So we sent it out this was on the county manager. So we wanted to see what the county clerks had to address. Miss Diane Perry brought up about the plaque, and I want to say thank you, because I didn't realize that it wasn't up. Talked with my maintenance supervisor, and he said that he was waiting on Public Works to take up the old pole so they could put that in. I addressed them that very next morning, and I said I would like to have it up by the end of the week. He had that pole up by 10 o'clock the next morning, had the new pole set and concrete in, and then the 21st they had to sign up. I want to thank Ms. Perry for bringing that to my attention. And I know Donald Hartman wanted some updates on from the Georgia DOT, and kind of talking with Daniel and Tyler. And this was kind of one of the things we mentioned a couple months ago, was the Georgia DOT would like to put a red light. This is where 36 comes in on 41. And what they're saying, they're planning on letting this out for bid in the late fall 24. And we kind of were requesting a right turn right there. And they're saying if we want to, and what it is, this is a kind of a quick response project, and their cap is 200,000. If that right lane is going to be put in, they said we can do a partnership with them. They said the cost may be between 25 to 50,000. They just have to look at it, and if we want to do that, I need to let them know what we need if we want to do a partnership with them. And this same little area is running into where Atlanta Street runs into 41, and it always gets really congested right there. And what I was we started talking with Daniel and them about right here below that hotspot store, where it really comes in right there. We're actually talking about taking Atlanta Street and turning it straight in on 41. So you have a stop sign or decel lane that goes out, and you won't have to have that. Plus, the benefit of this is taking out that bridge, so we don't have to, down the road, have to replace it or do maintenance on it. So they're saying they're going to sharpen their pencil on this. They're going to see if this fits within that project. If not, they're talking about it could be around 25 to 50,000 with a partnership again. So, and I think I addressed Mr. White's. I think he was wanting just a copy of the RFP on the Van Buren and Johnsonville Road. We talked before the meeting, and I told him I would send that to him. So, and other than that, that's all I really have. If y'all have any questions tonight.
Any questions for our administrator? No, sir. Don, I have one comment. I'll tell you, when you first interviewed for this position, there's some question about your lack of experience at that particular time. I can tell you, you have more than made up for it with your willingness to go out and obtain education and trainings. Your desire to learn has been something to really be proud of. And every time you do, you always come back with something to improve our processes, to improve what we do here. And I truly appreciate that. And even now with this new program, I mean, you and I were talking about it a few months ago, and you're like, well, Ryan, I want to do this process because everything I do is spreadsheet related. If something happened to me, nobody could come in here and do all the spreadsheets and understand what I'm doing. So you're creating a plan for even if you wasn't here. So I just want to tell you, I truly appreciate that, and thank you for the sacrifices that you make from your family and everything else to make that happen.
I did have one more thing. I forgot. I went out there this morning and took a picture. They already got the footing dug out for the animal shelter. They got the block in there. So I had a contract that I had to do with the testing of the asphalt. I mean, not asphalt, but the concrete to make sure if we don't get a bad batch. So I mentioned it in the workshop, but they're supposed to be coming out there tomorrow morning and hopefully be able to get the footing done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. The next item on our agenda is the public comments. The first person we have signed up is Ned West. West, please state your name and address for the record.
My name's Ned West. I'm at 168 Fawn Road, Milton. I'd like to have a public comment about a public post that Commissioner Thrash made on social media on April the 8th. And I'll quote, "So now my signs are being stolen. When someone resorts to these tactics to get elected, this should raise a red flag for everyone. Aren't cameras wonderful?" And then you followed that up with desperate people do desperate things. I take exception to that. The insinuation is clear. There's only two people running for commissioner, Commissioner Thrash and Truman Boyle. Your insinuation is that Truman is a thief. It's a serious insinuation and should be addressed in the public. And it's very fitting that 42 years ago today, on April the 16th, 82, I met Truman. So I've known him for 42 years. He came to work for the State Patrol that day, and I was already working. I can personally vouch for him as an operator in the radio room, as a trooper, and also as a personal friend for 42 years. He had a spotless career with the State Patrol. He's a member of the Baptist Church in Barnesville. He's a husband, he's a father, and a grandfather. His reputation is beyond reproach. He's a man of integrity and honesty, and he has never, not now, not in the past or the present, been any kind of thief. Commissioner Thrash, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you misspoke. Maybe you received some bad information. Maybe someone beyond your control moved the sign so Truman could be blamed. But it can be resolved in a one simple gesture. You insinuate that you have some pictures. You can bring all this to a close by showing your pictures. I know, you know what Truman knows, and everybody in this room knows that you do not have a picture of Truman Boyle taking a sign of yours off the road. You say desperate people do desperate things, and you should be ashamed. You owe Truman Boyle a public apology and a public retraction. and you can change my mind right now and anybody's mind in this room. If you can show me a picture of Truman Boyle taking a sign of yours, then I will give you a public apology and I will not vote for Truman Boyle. So going forward, I say produce your pictures or stop your insinuations and attempt to run an honest and a civil campaign. Thank you.
Boy, Ned.
Okay. Next, we have Beth Pierce. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Beth. All right, Greg Martin.
Greg Martin, 626 Piedmont Road, Barnesville. Wrote my comments down so I don't forget anything and maybe it'll flow better. After attending the workshop meeting last week and realizing there is no ongoing discussion of what is going on with the Solid Waste Authority, I have to ask why not. The citizens of this county have repeatedly asked for updates. We want to know the status of the project. When is it going to be up, running fully, and generating the income promised? There is a $27.5 million loan that isn't going away. I would imagine the original intent of having two commissioners serve on the SWA board was to make sure the project served the county's best interest and to report back. That certainly isn't what has been going on. It's more like they are looking out for the Solid Waste Authority and trying to keep the citizens from knowing the truth. We also want to know the status of the conflict resolution legal counsel. What did the lawyer say about the two SWA board members being allowed to vote on the issue of a forensic audit, which would include auditing them? Is it a conflict of interest? A lot of money has been wasted on this project, continues to be wasted. Big ads totaling over $1,000, legal fees, and even lawsuits. It's got to stop. Ignoring the problem does not make it go away, and it certainly does not leave us citizens feeling we are well represented. We need commissioners who will work for us, not for the SWA. Thank you, sir.
Okay, and next we have Elaine Lotta.
Elaine Halata, 131 Steeplechase, District 2. First of all, I want to thank you guys for the animal shelter. It's just too bad that you stalled the construction of that building for over 5+ years. Okay? The plaque looks great downtown in front of the courthouse. Mostly what I want to talk about tonight is questions regarding the conflict council. What are the results and the advice given? The taxpayers are paying or have paid for this service. How much money has been spent on the conflict council? Other attorney fees and court costs because of the attempts to keep blocking the investigation of the Lamar County Solid Waste Authority. If the results were that you can sit and vote on both boards, I want to know. If the results are that by any of you being on both boards and voting for stalling the investigation is a conflict of interest, I want to know. I live in Redbone. We have no curbs, no sidewalks, no lighting, no fire hydrants. Not only do our taxes not reflect the lack of these services, our insurance rates are sky high because of poor planning in the past. Since I do not have the same services as other people in this county, I realize that myself and my neighbors have definitely paid for the services of conflict counsel, these attorney fees and courts costs. Reveal this amount to the taxpayers. This has been stalled long enough. Give us the investigation that taxpayers have asked for, or resign. The Solid Waste Authority is now over $17 million behind in paying into the Lamar County tax base. How will it ever recover from this deficit? Thank you.
Harold Jackson.
Harold Jackson, 200 Laurel Drive, Barnesville, Georgia. I would like to thank Elaine for the comments that she just made. I would like to know what the conflict council has advised you guys, and I think that you should tell us what they have advised. I'd like to know what it's cost us. Why is all of this stuff a secret? Is what I'd like to know. I didn't make the workshop this past week because I was tied up with something else. But I want y'all to know I stand behind Elaine. Thank you.
All right, Cindy Bushby.
Cindy Bushby, 155 Redbone Road. My comments are in reference to the Solid Waste Authority. Why are you out looking for new elected officials in our county to serve on the Solid Waste Authority board? It appears this is a conflict of interest for two of our sitting commissioners to also be board members on the Solid Waste Authority board. It also appears you are stalling to release to the public the advice you received from the Conflict Council until after the results of the May primary election for District 4. Thank you.
Okay, Donald Hartman.
Donald Hartman, 5070 Milner Road. I remember it was last month or the previous meeting, prior to last month, I was speaking about possibility, and I believe a couple others spoke about a town hall meeting. I was wondering if there's been any future discussion on that and when one may be scheduled. Sean, thanks for the follow-up. I appreciate that. Great news that we might be moving forward on something. In regards to traffic, this past week we had a large traffic jam on Fellowship Drive. I don't know the communication cycle between the railroad folks, our county, or the sheriff's department, but they were working on the track. It might have been an emergency repair, but traffic was backed up inbound almost from Old Milner Road, I think almost up till 041 at one point. And I saw a commercial motor vehicle headed into the industrial park driving on the wrong side of traffic. That's a very, very dangerous situation. So I don't know what the protocol is there with CSX and them. Another item I'm going to direct this at Sean. Sean, we have some guests up here on the screen, as you can see. Do you track the attendance from our online attendees that are, I don't think we use this term Zoom anymore, but how many people may be watching this online? That's a number I kind of like to know. We've got a large room here tonight, but what kind of attendance do we have? And are we getting that message out to our citizens in a proper way? I don't know what process we use, but I'd just like to see some more names up here. I don't know how many we can see, or if there's a count that says, hey, we got 150 people watching tonight. I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Man.
Hey, Dave Rumfeld.
I'm Dave Rumfeld. I live at 211 Spencer Street here in Barnesville. I just wanted to make a comment about the shelter. When it was first started, I went to a few of the beginning meetings on it, and I listened to them about how they were going to raise money and how they're going to run the shelter. But one of the things that I noticed that was missing was what was going to happen for volunteers. So with that in mind, I started a nonprofit. It's called the Lamar County, or Friends of Lamar County Animal Shelter. And with this nonprofit, the idea is to take the burden off of the county to come up with money for things to run the facility, and to start a volunteer organization where we could also raise funds through different public events. And that would be another way of taking the burden. And it's just a way to save the people further tax money. I've had a lot of great response from it. I've actually had some free opening. I haven't really presented it yet to the public. Applications. So I've got a lot of people that are interested. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more once we start publicizing it. So anyway, it's just to let you all know that this has been started. All I have to do is just set a time for the first meeting, and we'll take it off from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, Diane Perry.
Diane Perry, 101 Maple Drive. I know I started complaining many months ago when I found out that having a new plaque was not a priority, and I took it upon myself to contact some people. I'd like to acknowledge Sean because he has worked with me over a period of time. We now have a new historical marker up out on the courthouse. If you haven't gone by and looked at it, please do. It's very nice. It says a lot. I believe our history is important. And if we can get plaques or historical markers of any type in our community, it makes people more interested in what we have and what we're seeing. We should be working toward that, not worrying about who likes whom or whatever. These are important ways to acknowledge our history and what we've got going. So why don't we get a group to look at what's going on in this community and how we can make it better? The other thing I'd like to say is that thanks for getting this done. Thanks for getting it put up as soon as you found out about the new post. But I will say that I agree with the comments that have been made tonight. I agree with Ned's, and I agree about the Solid Waste Authority, and I agree with the comments that were made about the Conflict Council. Your board members are not letting us know anything, and we're the citizens. If you can't tell us because you're sitting behind a podium, why not put some letters in the paper or acknowledge us? Acknowledge the fact that the public wants to know what's going on. It would stop a lot of these comments that are being made up here, I think. So think about that too. Think about our community and how it's being torn apart because we don't know. We don't know what's happening. And that's what we want. We want to know what's happening in our community and how to make it a better place for us to live and thrive. Thank you.
And the last name we have tonight, Dixie Benson.
Proud of you guys. Oh, Dixie Benson, 399 Grove Street. I'm really proud of you guys for working together tonight. It did not seem like a fight. I was wondering if this was a direct result of the expenditure on the conflict resolution attorney, but I'm proud of you guys.
Nice reading.
Yeah. All right. That ends the public comments. We can move to roundtable. Commissioner Fletcher?
Nothing tonight.
All right, Commissioner Lovett?
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Commissioner Gillis?
Just wanted to wish my daughter back there a happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Yes. Commissioner Thrash?
Yeah, let me just say, I want to address the the sign issue really quick, and I'll be brief. I know Ashley wants to go. I'll be brief. I know that Mr. Bull didn't take my signs. I know he did. I know he wouldn't take my signs. And you didn't take my signs, did you, Truman? Okay, so that's over and done with. I'll take my post down, but let me tell you. Let me say this. This campaign has turned into one of the ugliest things I have ever been involved in my entire life. Let Mr. Bull and I run our campaign and let the citizens vote for whomever they want to go back into office. And I probably could have worded my post differently. I know who took the signs, and I am not going to prosecute somebody for taking campaign signs. That is, it's utterly ridiculous. I just went back and replaced them. I'm not going to do that. So I just wanted to say, does somebody else want to talk? I'm sorry I didn't interrupt you.
You have the floor. Keep on. Yes.
So I wanted to say that, and Truman has answered my question, and so that's a done deal. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner,
Thank you.
Calvin, you have anything else? Ms. Haddock had one more thing that she wanted to share with us tonight.
When people were talking, I was looking up your addresses. I want everybody to know that there are some homestead exemptions a lot of y'all in here don't have. You can get it at 62, but if you're still working, you can't because of income. There's some at 65 and 70. The deadline for 2024 was past April 1st, but you can apply for it year round. So please come see me, call me. We can check on, or you can check online if you got it. An LS or L7 is for over 70. I do know that I think the school is looking to up some of the school at 70. So please, I forgot who it was that didn't have it. I think it was y'all. I think you had like a S1. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, anybody, if you're 64, please. I mean, I don't mean to call anybody out age-wise. I'm sorry. I'm calling you out. I'm sorry. But I mean, I want everybody to, and I'm going to get with Mr. Walter and see if maybe we could put something again in the paper, because the deadline was April 1st, but you can apply for it year round. And, but I want y'all to come please make sure y'all get that, because everybody's entitled to that. Thank y'all. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you, Jeannie. We know you work hard for everybody in here. Just one thing to the Scotts. Thank y'all for choosing Lamar County. Please get involved. I know you're involved in the school system, maybe the animal shelter, whatever you like here in the community. And I applaud you for, as we say at Gordon, being the affordable choice. I've done a lot of research on the choice of home that you guys are purchasing. And there's a lot of research on those pre-modulated homes, and for the cost, it's actually a very smart move. And I'm pretty sure we're going to start seeing more of them in this area. But thank you all, and welcome to the community. I know before there's been some conversations about TED Talk. TED Talk. Gosh, I'm in class. Tailgate talks, and tailgate talks is something we've been talking about for quite a while. Our first one that we're going to have will be in District 3. Ashley has stepped up, said she would like to have it in her district, and we're going to host it over at the new gym in that parking lot, and be looking for a date. We should have a date that should be coming out within the next week or so. We'll put it out on the website. We'll put it out on the Facebook and things of that nature. What will happen at a tailgate talk is that we will provide some type of appetizer. It might not be the hamburger hot dog style that we were thinking. It might be barbecue sliders, but the commissioners will be there. Some of our staff will be there, and it's just an opportunity to talk and mingle and answer questions and share any kind of ideas or thoughts that you guys have. Will be available to last about an hour. But we would love for you guys to, if you can, when you see that pop up, please mark your calendars and come out and hang out with us for a little bit of time. With that being said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
I have a motion by Commissioner Gillis and a second by Commissioner Fletcher to adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, motion All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Post same sign, motion carried. Y'all have a great night and be careful.